Let me now show you how to create a Python app that queries data from a MySQL database, a remote MySQL database. Your Python script will connect to the database using the credentials I'll give to you now. First of all, though, you need a library that allows Python to interact with a MySQL database. A good library is mysql connector. You can install that with pip install mysql-connector-python. I'm using pip3 in my case. Use whatever you use in your system, which could be pip if you are on Windows. And so successfully installed MySQL connector. Now, once you do that, the installation, you go ahead and import mysql.connector. After that, the first thing you want to do is you want to establish a connection. So use a variable to store that connection object and then say mysql.connector.connect. And here in this parenthesis will go the credentials of the database. So you'll pass them as parameters. Since there are quite a few credentials, what I'm going to do is just going to press enter so that I can write now all those parameters in here. So user equal to rdit700 underscore student. That's the username of the database. Don't forget a comma. So just like you passed like multiple parameters here, but in this case we want to do that one parameter in each line. Password equals to rdit700 student, a comma again, host. This is the IP of the server that has the database, and that is 108.167.140 and 122. A comma, so everything comes as a string, you see, with double quotes. Lastly, the database name. Database is a parameter of the connect function, that is rdit700 underscore pm1 database, and that's it. Let's test that. I'm going to execute my file. If you didn't get an error, that means the connection works. But that's just a connection. We want to find a way to query some data now. So after you establish a connection, you want to create a cursor object that you're going to use to navigate through the table of the database. So con.cursor, you use the con object you created in here. And then let's do a query. Cursor execute. And here goes the SQL statement. You saw that in PHP-MyAdmin, the graphical interface actually executes these statements. These are SQL statements to show some data. For example, this query, this SQL query, showed us all the data of the dictionary table. This is the dictionary table. We're going to use a similar query like that. Select, so this goes inside a string. This stands for all from dictionary. Dictionary is the name of the table, so select all from the table dictionary. Let's leave it like that. And lastly, you want to get the actual data. Let's store them in the results variable. Cursor.fetch all. That's the method you want to use. And print out the results. So now we are going to see if this script is actually working or not. Don't forget to save, execute. It takes a while. We're querying a lot of data here, all the data of the dictionary, which is the words in English. So it seems like it's working. That's a lot of them. So you can see that we got, it's actually a list. You see this closing square bracket here, which indicates that this is a big list. So results, it's actually a list. And this list is made of tuples. This is the last tuple of the list. Here is another tuple. And so on. And so each tuple has the expression, so the word. You saw that. Remember, these had the expression column and the definition column. This is the expression, the word, and this is definition. Now, what if we want to return only one tuple of a certain expression? So, for example, inlay. Let's try this word. In that case, you want to extend your query to make it more specific. You want to select all from dictionary where expression is equal to, and here you want to use single quotes to enter the word inlay. All right, execute. And this is what we get. So again, we got a list, and that list this time contains only one tuple, the tuple of our interest. So if you want the actual tuple, you may want to use 0 here. You know, to extract the first item of that list, which is the tuple. So it's a list with a tuple inside. However, some words, let's say lining, some words have more than one definition. For example, lining has this. Oh no, that was a bad example, so let's try another word with more than one definition. Maybe line. Yes, so line has this definition here, and then it has another definition, so we get a list of multiple tuples. Therefore, what you can do is you can construct a tuple. Here, you can construct a loop to extract all the tuples. Let's say for result, in results, print result. Let's see what we're going to get this time. So you get the tuples, one in each line, and if you get the if you want the definition only, you'd want to pass one here. So you'd get out of each tuple, you'd get the second item, which is a definition. Let's see. And so these are all the definitions of line, the term, the expression line. Sometimes there are words that don't have a definition, like that. In that case, you don't get anything returned, which means you might do something like, if results, do this, else print no word found. So in this case, we're going to get no word found. So what does this do if results? Well, if that word existed, we would get a list with tuples inside. If not, what we get is an empty list. You can see here, print results. So it's an empty list. And in that case, when you do if results, and if that results is an empty list, it means it's false. So this will not be executed if you get an empty list. Therefore, else will be executed. This one in here. So now we have something more left. Just before this query here, what we can do is we can get a word from the user. Enter a word like that. Word, and then here we replace this with percentage %s, and outside of the string we say percentage word. So we're going to get the value that the user enters in Word and put it in here. Save the script, execute. Enter word rain. And these are the definitions for the word rain. So if you'd like to improve this program now, as an exercise, you could try to implement the techniques we used in application 1, where we were doing like when you execute the program, and if the user made a typo like 2 N's in rain, instead of getting no word found, you could make the program more intelligent by looking for similar words in the database. Otherwise, this is still a good program, and I think MySQL connector is a very easy to use Python library to interact with MySQL databases. I hope you like this, and I hope you put it in good use. Thanks a lot.